And I want it through you who I'm voting for. So if I don't get it, of course I have to ask you. And that's what accounts committee. Public accounts, that's where the money is. And as an ANC whip for safety and security, in 2026, she took up the role of ANC whip for public health. She also served as a Salga Youth Commissioner for the Eastern Cape from 2025 to 2026. Through her work in local government, she has engaged with issues of public safety, service delivery, municipal accountability, and community development. Her experience in council leadership and youth representation provides valuable insight into the role of young people in strengthening responsive, accountable, and effective local government. Please give her a round of applause. Now, we didn't bring you one or two or even three speakers. We said 4. You know, Sinyaretla Patela. Next, Dr. Onga Mamtimka is the acting director of the Raymond Mhlaba Center for Governance and Leadership and a senior lecturer in the Department of History and Political Studies at Nelson Mandela University. His research interests include political economy, international political economy, political risk analysis, and industrial development, as well as party politics and strategy. He holds a BA with majors in journalism and politics from Rhodes University, a master's in philosophy and essay politics and political economy, and a PhD in political studies from Nelson Mandela University. Please give him a round of applause. It doesn't end there. I told you, 4. Tessa Dooms is a director at the Rivonia Circle, political think tank. Tessa recently authored a book titled Colored that explores identity politics in South Africa. Trained as a sociologist, development practitioner, and political analyst, Tessa is an activist, author, and change maker committed to the remaking of the future of South Africa. Tessa started her career in academia. She has worked in diverse sectors, including government, NGOs, and the private sector, where she did work that aligns with the objectives of various institutions and programs with developmental objectives for the advancement of Africa. She has 15 years experience as a development worker, trainer, and researcher with expertise on governance, youth development, and innovation, and has worked in over 10 African countries. In 2015, she was appointed to the National Planning Commission to advise the President on the implementation of the National Development Plan of South Africa. Tessa is a trustee of the Kagiso Trust, and she holds a Master of Arts from Wits. Please give her a round of applause. Our final speaker, Dr. Victor Shale, is the Deputy Chief Electoral Officer of Outreach at the Electoral Commission of South Africa, bringing over 2 decades of experience in electoral governance, conflict transformation, political party development, and democratic development across the African continent. Internationally recognized for his contributions to electoral policy and practice, he has worked with leading institutions including the United Nations Development Programme, the Commonwealth, the African Union Commission, and International IDEA. Dr. Shale has made significant contributions to electoral policy and practice, including serving as a lead author of the SADC Model Law on Elections and developing the African Union's Youth Participation Guide in political and electoral processes. Prior to his current position, he served as country director of the Electoral Institute of South Africa in Zimbabwe, and as general manager in the office of the CEO and the Electoral Commission of South Africa. He holds a PhD in politics from UNISA, a master's in philosophy in conflict transformation from Nelson Mandela University. Please give him a round of applause. Now, as we give our speakers a chance to just kokumoya before it gets very serious, I am going to tell you what the format is. Each speaker gets 15 minutes to present and 2 minutes leeway should they go overboard, as is usually the case in these types of situations. After that, we will be having our Q&A where you can grill them as much as you want. But remember, house rules, we lead with respect for each other and the people that are sitting in front of us. We listen and we don't judge. But maybe we can just a little bit. And that's what I want from you today. To listen, to engage, maybe judge a little, but not too much. Respect is key. Thank you very much. I will be having our first speaker. Counselor, please take it away.
One thing about me, I'll break everything. Thank you so much. Firstly, just for information, you are currently at Ward 1 now in 2021. It's Ward 2 now. In 2021, it was Ward 1. Due to demarcation, we've now moved you to Ward 2. Yeah. So that's important information. When you do go to vote, you know which ward you belong to, and that's if you live around this vicinity, Summerstrand. Igama lam nguNoxolo Nobathembu Hurukoko. I'm a PR counselor here at Nelson Mandela Metropolitan Bay. You would have heard the presentation of who I am and what I do, but ke ndingumntu. And that is how I'd like us to interact. Ngobuntu, of course, like the facilitator said, with respect. And I will clap if I have led a doi. I will clap if I've burnt a tire. I will clap if I've led fees must fall and be arrested, because all of that has happened here in this university when I was still a journalism student here. The topic is strengthening democracy through stable and accountable governance. And it's true, we form part of a coalition government here in Nelson Mandela, which is quite a very interesting concept to experience daily. But there's something deeply personal about local government. It is the spheres of government that citizens interact with directly daily, often without thinking of it as government. So when we hear the word government, we think premier, president, when government is actually your day-to-day counselor. So if you travel on a road every morning and you drink water, clean water that comes from the tap, the street lights outside your homes, the refuse collected, the businesses that opens its doors to our neighborhoods, that is government. When these things work, government can can feel distant and be invisible because you don't have to interact and ask questions. But when they fail, government becomes really something painful. As we move towards another local government election, I believe that we need to have a more honest conversation about what we actually need to ask our citizens or ask them what to vote for. Elections cannot be simply reduced to which political party will secure the most votes, which political party gives you T-shirts, or which coalition will have enough numbers to form part of the administration. At the heart of the matter is a bigger question, and that question is, what kind of local government do we want, and what kind of political leadership are we prepared to entrust that with? Our municipalities are facing enormous pressures. In many communities, residents are extremely frustrated by the state of the infrastructure. Residents are frustrated by unreliable services, unemployment, we're frustrated by crime, and we're really frustrated by the lack of response to our service delivery. At the same time, municipalities themselves are also frustrated. We're dealing with financial constraints. We're dealing with political instability. we're dealing